Right. So this is something a little different next. Neil Grimmer, who's going to join us, CEO of Habit, and he is, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
His last company was the #1 organic baby food brand. And he's also a former punk rock musician, and he worked at IDEO as a product designer. So it all comes together in what he's doing now, and he's going to explain that.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So I want to give you a little bit of background of the future of food and how it just got radically personalized. But I want to start by asking you all a question about your own food. So how many of you have gone plant-based, paleo, gluten-free? Come on, we want participation. Come on, folks, don't be shy. All right, the pepperoni pizza diet, we got anything there? How many of you have asked yourself the question, what foods are right for me? Pretty much everyone. Well, you're not alone. As it turns out, we've been asking this question since the dawn of time. And in this particular example, this is the most notorious food choice. One wrong food choice from one wrong tree sent the world in disarray. So clearly, this is something that we need to settle. We need to settle the score on this. Now, from that period of time, what food was right for me was based on what I could hunt or what I could gather, right? With the agricultural revolution, it was what I could grow, what I could harvest, okay? But then with the industrial revolution, things got a lot more complicated. There were a lot more choices. Food became more abundant in many ways. And subsequently, 2 centuries ago, there was an advent of the fad diet. And we've seen low carb pop itself up in 1863. We've seen it rise and fall about 20 times over the last 2 centuries. And we've had food pyramids, we've had plates, we've had paleo. And the one thing that, as I studied kind of the history of food, thinking about where we're going in the future of food, is that there's a lot of wisdom that's happened over the ages. But the one thing that we've gotten wrong is we've always taken a one-size-fits-all approach to food. I believe in 2017, it's going to be the era of you, the era of personalized nutrition, where the roadmap to your own health and well-being actually lives inside of each and every one of you. And it's going to be different. Look around the room and ask yourself, should we all eat the same food in the same way at the same time? Take a minute. Check it. Intuitively, your answer would be no. And what's exciting now is that science actually supports that intuition. Now, the science I'm referring to is what we call systems biology, which looks at the complex interrelationship of your DNA, your blood work, your metabolism, your gut microbiome, how much you move, even Arianna Huffington's, how much you sleep. All of that informs what kind of nutrition you need. Now, at Habit, we look at all of these factors, your DNA, your blood work, your metabolic function, your body metrics, and your activities. But all of that comes together in one company. And I'm going to tell you a story of how it led me to start this company. So this is the embarrassing photo slide. So that's me on the left-hand side about over 10 years ago as a designer at IDEO, Ironman triathlete, focusing most of my design work on healthy food for the major Fortune 500 companies. I went from being a designer to being a dad, and all of a sudden I had 2 little girls in my life. And they inspired me to take my trade craft that I was doing at work into my own kitchen. That compelled me to start the leading organic baby food company called Plum Organics. Now, I always like to say my little girls have me wrapped around their finger. It was amazing for business. We were the fastest growing food company in America, and in 2013, we sold to Campbell's Soup, which was fantastic in its own right. But then this moment came, and my wife paused and she said, "You spent the last 8 years taking care of this company. Now you got to start taking care of yourself." I turned to this guy. I was 50 pounds heavier than I was when I was racing just 8 years prior. And like most wives do, in all of her infinite wisdom, she literally held a mirror up to me, a good, strong kick in the ass, and I was off on my health and wellness journey. And that actually inspired me as an entrepreneur. I didn't just go to the doctor. I actually reached out to leading scientists around the country, around the world. I met Dr. Leroy Hood. I got my full genome sequence, spent time learning about what's going on with me at a cellular level. I went out to TNO in the Netherlands and spent time with the scientists there who'd been spending the majority of their career looking at personalized nutrition. How do you take a unique difference in each one of you and translate it into a nutrition plan? And I took all of this data and brought it back and sat down with a set of specialists. And what actually I discovered was nothing short of horrific. What came back was that it was actually a middle-aged white guy. And that, as I kind of really embraced that reality, what came along with that was that I was pre-diabetic, high risk for a heart attack, and that the genetic caffeine sensitivity I had combined with the 3 cups of coffee I was drinking increased that risk for a heart attack by 100-fold. Right, so I had a wake-up call, and I said, look, what can I do to change this situation? And my functional medicine doctor said, well, you can fix it with pharma, or you can fix it with food. And I said, I want to try fixing it with food. 3 months later, I started feeling really great. 6 months later, I'd lost 25 pounds, and I had a new lease on life. And that's what inspired me to start Habit, the world's first personalized nutrition company from test to table. So at Habit, there's 4 things we do. The first thing is an at-home, do-it-yourself test kit. We look at over 60 different biomarkers. We take all of that and translate it into a nutrition dashboard that describes both your biology and your nutrition plan in simple, intuitive, user-centered ways. Now, to take that, move it from just empowering people with knowledge to applying it to their lives, we have behavioral coaches on staff. So these are actually human beings that are going to talk to you and tell you how you can take this insight and apply it to your lives every day. And the last thing we do, because we want to hit the easy button for most folks, is that we do fresh prepared meals customized to your biology, delivered to your door. So with all of that, one of the things we talked about earlier today, compliance is a real pain. We heard from gamification that you actually have to inspire people to want to make these choices. And so we've wrapped all of this with a lifestyle brand. So I'll play a video, give you a sense for what that looks like.
If you want to be your best, you need to know yourself. What makes you, you. How you're different, unique, and original. Yet every day we're told that when it comes to eating, we're all the same. Told to jump on the next food fad where one day eggs are bad, the next day they're good. But one size doesn't fit all. It's time to get personal, to get microscopic. It's time for a solution as unique as you are. It's time for Habit. Habit looks at you at the cellular level. Your inner workings, the blood that runs through your veins. Your DNA. What makes you, well, you. Habit marries its passion for food with the science of you. Designing a nutrition blueprint that only your biology craves. So you can eat better, feel better, be better. Feeding the best version of you. The you with mojo. The you that's on your game. The you that's uniquely unstoppable. Welcome to Habit. Food personalized.
What do you think? All right. So we've all done this moment. Flipped over a product, and in that gesture, really what we're trying to do is figure out if this food's right for us. And I hope that actually in the near future, you move past a generic one-size-fits-all interpretation of whether this is right for you, and you actually look inside yourself for the answer. Thank you.